So let's talk about cardio and back pain on a very specific way of getting in cardio, and that's doing mountain climbers, right? When you think of cardio, fear comes involved. Like you're afraid to do it. It might spark flare-ups, it might spark discomfort, fear around causing more damage or causing more pain or flare-ups. And I want to give you some hope, because there's a way that you can modify the mountain climber specifically to be able to do it successfully, be able to do it safely and confidently without worrying about causing more damage. So in today's video, we're gonna break down the infamous mountain climber exercise, and I wanna show you some awesome strategies to navigate it and to do it even better. If you're new here, welcome. This is William from fitnessforbackpain.com, where I teach you how to overcome chronic back pain by mastering your mindset, improving your movements, and building strength. If you are new here, I wanna give you a free gift. If you're into working out, if you wanna find an entry point into exercising with a persistent back pain issue or post-surgery, you don't know where to start, I have a free 7-day band and bodyweight workout so you can get a taste of the way I program, the way someone who has a persistent low back pain issue, who's navigating exercise and back pain should be working out. And you can get that 100% free at www.fitnessforbackpain.com/free week. Check out the link in the description or follow that into your browser and it'll take you right to where you need to go. So let's look at the mountain climber. This is an exercise that I feel like is one of the most feared exercises, one of them besides burpees, which shouldn't be done anyways. But the mountain climber is something that shouldn't be feared, right? We can modify this exercise, we can make it easier, especially if you have a history of low back pain or back sensitivity or post-surgery. Now again, I say all that with the assumption that you have been cleared to exercise. So if you've been cleared to exercise, then this is what I want you to start approaching, or how I want you to start approaching the mountain climber. So I'm gonna give you 3 positional tips that you can follow and a 4th bonus tip, right? So you gotta stay to the end. I'm gonna talk about a very specific way that you can make this harder without actually changing anything about what you're doing. I know it sounds weird, but just stay tuned. The 4th tip is going to be awesome. The first tip is, let's take the mountain climber from the floor up to a bench or up to a box. If you see over here, you'll see a box over here. Change your elevation, right? Change where your arms are at. That's gonna take you out of a more of a threatening or scary type of position and give you a little bit more confidence and control. So what that looks like is you may start here for your mountain climbers. Now you're gonna be here. That's the first tip, is just getting into a position where you can have more control and less kind of parallel to the floor. You have a little bit more of an angle. That's the first tip, and we're gonna see how it all kind of comes together. The second tip is when you get into actually starting. So beep, your timer starts, you're going for your 45 seconds. Before you get going, engage the lat. Engage the lats. These are these big muscles here that take up almost your entire back and into your lower back. They're a big muscle that need to be activated when doing these types of things. They help protect the low back. What happens is you start doing these mountain climbers and you get lazy and you're flopping around like a fish trying to make the mountain climber work. What happens is when you first get into the position to start doing the mountain climber, you're not thinking about the rest of your body. You're thinking about, this is gonna suck. Let's get through this and pray to God that my low back doesn't give out or start to flare or something like that. If we can get into it and get into a good position and be mindful of what we're doing, it's gonna make a world of a difference. So what you do is when you get into position, this is the normal, let's just get ready to do these mountain climbers and get them over with. I'm gonna engage my lats, right? So I'm creating torque, and how I like to do it is I do this on the bench or on the floor or wherever you're at. I kind of do this. Obviously my hands aren't moving when I'm on the bench, but I'm creating torque in my shoulders. So I'm going from here and just kind of being relaxed to boom. And that allows me to engage these big muscles back here. So what's gonna happen is I'm gonna engage them, and now my whole upper, mid, and lower back is now engaged, but not over-engaged or over-contracted. So now I'm helping support my body, right? Because we all say, oh, you engage your core and your core is gonna protect you. But it's not necessarily how it works, because oftentimes with low back pain issues is people respond with their low back first. Their low back becomes their core. We're trying to shut that off. So the second tip was to engage the lats before you get going. That's gonna help you protect that lower back. The third tip is where your knees are bending and what kind of angle you're creating at the hip. So let's get reckless for a second, right? So you're in here just going crazy, you're not watching my videos, and you're doing mountain climbers. And oftentimes people get into mountain climbers and they're here, right? They're hiking their knee up real high. Well, what happens to my lower back when I'm this high? It tends to round. And even if it's kind of small, it's still rounding. I'm hiking my knee up, trying to get that really good motion in my hips. I'm rounding my lower back. So if you've had a fusion, if it's already super sensitive to flexion or extension, this might not be good for you. So let's just not push through it and say, hey, let's think about this. What can I do to change the position so that I can still do it, but not cause any excessive pain or discomfort while I'm doing it? And a way you can do that is decreasing the hip angle, right? Stop bending your knee or bringing your knee up so far to your chest. So what I'm gonna do instead, I'm gonna engage my lats. I'm already up on my platform and I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna cut my mountain climber almost in half, like the range of motion. So I know that I can probably come to here, create that 90-degree hip here, and create that 90-degree hip at my knee here, and then switch. So I'm gonna stay right here instead of coming all the way trying to kick my knee to my chest. That's gonna be a big difference when it comes to trying to maximize your range of motion while doing it, but then also trying to protect your low back. It's just not gonna happen. Now, that was 3. The 4th bonus tip, you can apply this to anything, really any kind of cardiovascular work if you're working on it, is stop breathing through your mouth. Nasal breathing, right? You can walk and have a cardiovascular aspect to walking or speed walking or cycling or whatever you want to do. Once you start nasal breathing, it's harder for your body to work because you're not used to breathing that way, right? There's a little bit of restriction as you're breathing. So it causes everything to work harder. This is a great way to help condition the heart without having to add any movement or faster movement or longer time doing something. Just incorporate nasal breathing more often. It's gonna be hard. You're not gonna be able to go as long or as hard or as fast, but that's okay. It's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be tough. And it's gonna give you that cardiovascular training that you're looking for without injuring yourself or causing some kind of crazy flare up. That's it. That is the correct way of doing the mountain climber, especially if you have a sensitive low back. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I hope this gave you a little nugget of help that you can take to the gym and start doing more cardio. Stop being afraid of doing it. Stop being afraid of moving and challenging your body and doing the things that could potentially be dangerous, or maybe that used to be dangerous or fearful, that you can start doing them now more than ever. Thanks again, and make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification for future videos, and pick up that free 7-day workout at www.fitnessforbackpain.com/free week.